barely on the screen. Let's adjust that. Hold on. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Pardon as I'm trying to figure out the best position. There we go. Ooh, kind of. Okay, try this again. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Today's gonna kind of be, for those of you who don't know my backstory a little bit, I'll backtrack about 7 years, give you a story about how I met my husband and how we are here 7 years later. So let's begin. Are you excited? Yeah. So a little over 7 years ago, I met my husband through an online dating site. Honestly, can't even tell you which one now. It was not eHarmony and it was not Match.com. I think it was like Plenty of Fish. But that's neither here nor there because we're here now and we don't need a dating site, do we? Yeah. So we met 7 years ago and had our first date end of July, and needless to say, we've had many dates since then. We always like to joke. Our second date, my sister came along because I brought her back with me, and my husband, Matt, at the time, my boyfriend, was very generous and let her come with us. We went bowling and I think we did Red Robin. So anyway, we kind of credit her for why we are still together, because she was on our second, third, probably fourth and fifth date, because she stayed with me for about a week or two. So fast forward. No way. Okay. So we met in Manassas, Virginia, and went to a bookstore called McKay's, and had many dates post that first one. So then fast forward, this was 2012, fast forward to March 2014, he proposes at that same bookstore, McKay's in Manassas. So that was really fun to kind of have that come full circle. So we get married October 2014 in Ohio, got married in Delaware, and we both wanted to start a family pretty quickly. Yeah. I'm going to take my glasses off. They seem to have a reflection. So I don't know how this will go because now I can't see the camera, but we'll give it a shot. So ever since I was a little girl, I felt like a calling on my heart from God or what have you to be a mom. So we decided we wanted to start fairly quickly because I was... Yeah. You talking to YouTube as well? I was already older getting married. I was 30 years old, which I know not really old in the grand scheme of things, but for me, I thought by the time I was 30, I would have had 2 kids on the ground already. So we started trying, and for about 2 years, nothing. It was very disheartening and discouraging, so I started going through testing, and infertility is a lot more prominent than people know, because most people don't talk about it. So we struggled with infertility, and it was my issue. But as my doctor told me, she goes, a third of the time it's the man, a third of the time it's the woman, and a third of the time there's no explanation. But this time it seemed to be me. I was diagnosed with PCOS, also known as polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I got put on medicine for that. And within, I think, 5 or 6 months, we did get pregnant. And we were so excited. This was spring of 2017. We found out we were pregnant. So we were thrilled, to say the least. Well, we go in for the first ultrasound at what we believe the fetus would have been 8 weeks. And it was measuring at about 6 weeks. And she said, with your condition, we don't know when, excuse you, we don't know when you ovulated. So this the baby could really be 6 weeks. So come back in 2 so we can look for the heartbeat. And we go back 2 weeks later and there was no heartbeat. Ugh, we spat it up on Mommy. Yuck. Yuck. Gross. Ew. Ew. That's no good. So we go back 2 weeks later and the baby had not grown and there was no heartbeat. So, we had an early miscarriage. My body did not reject it until I would have been almost 3 months pregnant. So that was really emotional for us because we had wanted this for so long, and to find out we're pregnant and be excited and then to lose the pregnancy was really hard. I know there are other women out there that have lost their babies much later into the pregnancy, and I can't even imagine the pain of that loss, because my loss at just, technically it was a 6-week-old fetus. It was heartbreaking, and I was down for a while just with sadness, because my body never rejected it. I had to have a D&C, and that was really hard emotionally for my husband and myself. And he couldn't be there, so my mother-in-law came with me to the hospital when I had to have it done. And around this time, we were house hunting. So that's when we ended up finding this place and buying it and moving in. Kind of view it as a blessing in disguise, because if I had been as pregnant as I would have been when we bought the place, I wouldn't have been able to help install the fencing. So not belittling our loss at all, but we always just kind of point to God's timing for things. And so we get settled in the house and we decide to start trying again, and nothing's working. So I found a new doctor down here since we had moved, and she, no, not her. I had a friend who I met that also was struggling, and she recommended I try Clomid. By this time, we found out my friend had gotten pregnant through IVF, and we were thrilled for them. So I asked my OB about doing Clomid, and she agreed. And our first round, we got pregnant. And we were just kind of in shock and in tears and just, yes, we were so excited. Yeah. Oh, I love you. So we were very optimistic, but also I was very almost paranoid. That might be too strong of a word, but pretty worried that we would still miscarry. Because I've had family members who have miscarried later on in their pregnancies, and we had clearly had a miscarriage as well. So I ended up seeing 2 doctors through the course of the pregnancy because I have chronic hypertension. So I had to see a high risk and in congruency with my regular. And so I feel like the Lord blessed me in that, because we ended up getting a lot more ultrasounds than a normal pregnancy would have received. So we were able to see her so often on ultrasound scans. So we just could not believe that God was blessing us with our little miracle. My pregnancy, I feel like, was really good and easy compared to what I've heard other women say. My placenta was, I believe they call it anterior, so it was in front of her. So it's like my stomach, body, placenta, then the baby. So whenever she would kick, she would be kicking her own placenta. So I did not feel her move very often. Towards the end of the pregnancy, you could see her kind of doing this in the belly. It was pretty funny. If you follow me on Instagram, I think I posted a couple videos of that on my Instagram feed. Because of my high blood pressure, it was very well controlled through the pregnancy, but the last month it started slowly creeping up. So my high risk wanted me to go in for induction between week 38 and 39. The only date the hospital had available was the beginning of week 38. So I got admitted on Tuesday at 4, And while waiting for the nurses to come in and start hooking us up, I actually started having pre-labor contractions, which was kind of exciting, thinking, okay, we're getting moving, this is happening. Oh, we're so excited for the baby. So get hooked up to everything, and they started me on, I think it was a Pitocin, if I'm not mistaken, because I was starting to have contractions. Well, this little stinker, she, just long story short, she decided that she wasn't coming out the natural way. She got herself wedged in, not quite transverse. Transverse would be this way, and she wasn't breech with her head up. She was head down, but just slightly off, so that her head was kind of, I guess, more towards my hip joint. So I never got very fully dilated. So by Wednesday at 8 p.m., my doctor comes into the room after many attempts of different options for induction, including my water breaking completely. She comes in very discouraged and says, we're doing a C-section. So 9:09 p.m., they lifted this little munchkin out and they said, welcome to the world, baby. Welcome to the world, baby girl. And the doctor's second comment, or no, actually it was the doctor's first comment. Look at that head of hair. She was born with this gorgeous head of hair. So I had horrible heartburn my last couple weeks, month or two in the pregnancy. So she was delivered at 9:09 p.m., 7 pounds, 10 ounces, 19 and a half inches long on May 29th. And it has just been a whirlwind of emotions, and if you're a parent, you know what I'm trying to get across. It has been such a blessing to be a mom and to be watching her grow, and I can't believe she is 5 months old. I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me that she's been here for 5 months. So we are just so thrilled to be a mom and dad, and yeah. Are you thrilled to be in the world too? Yeah. Yeah. So we just love having her on the farm. She loves the horses. Her favorite thing are the ducks. She loves to watch them. We go out in the evenings and she watches the ducks. And we're excited to get to capture some of her stuff on video and post on YouTube to just kind of document her growing, because it just goes by so fast. Everyone tells you it, and I know you believe it, but until you actually experience it, it goes even faster than you can possibly imagine. So we're so excited to get to finally share her with YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen her post many times. I've been posting stuff up with her since she was born. But if you don't follow her Instagram, this is your first exposure to her. And we started a Patreon account because with having her, with having her, my job would not have provided enough to pay for daycare, and so now I am thankfully a stay-at-home mom. But we started the Patreon just as a little extra thing. If you guys feel so inclined to show your support of the channel by donating, that would be awesome. We're thinking of trying to do some fun fundraisers with it, with naming some of our animals. If you donate $5, you get to name one of the birds, and we have lots. And we actually just had a baby duck hatch yesterday. Its mama is Waddles, and the daddy is still not named. And it's adorable. It looks like it's going to be black, like its mom, Waddles. So we're just so excited to start doing more videos and incorporating our lovely daughter. And we just thank you guys so much for your continued support and viewing the videos and liking and subscribing, etc. So don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you know when we've posted new videos, because I know I'm not the best at getting them out as regularly as I should. So make sure you press that bell, hit subscribe. And again, we thank you guys so much, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing our story and meeting Everly. Bye. Say bye. Bye. Thank you. Do you see yourself? You say, who is that gorgeous thing? Who is that gorgeous thing? Good. Good. Say happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. I'm gonna get you.